All right, guys, out of the hundreds and hundreds of messages I've gotten in the last 2 days, there's several of you who are pretty serious about this car. And so I offered to make a walk around video that brings it to life a little bit more than what you just see in photos. So it's been sitting here for a couple of days. I think I took it out yesterday afternoon, but it's been sitting in the garage, so hasn't been started. We'll get a cold start video. And then separately, I'm actually going to take my son to the movies in it. So he'll catch some video of us just driving down the street and you guys can hear kind of how it runs. So let's get started. I'm just going to dig right in. We'll walk right around here. Actually, let me slow it down so that you guys can see the condition. Yeah, fiberglass hood. It's an aftermarket hood. I chose not to do a factory R34 GT-R hood because my 33 has the same vented hood on it. And I like it, and I thought it would be cool for both cars to have the same vented hood. So yeah, that was the choice I made there. We've got the quick lock hood pins just as an added piece of safety. The Masa fenders are really nice. It's all fiberglass. It's a factory R34 GT-R first series bumper with lights, grills, badges, everything. And it's factory R34 GT-R xenon lights. Factory R34 GT-R wheels as well. There's a little bit of curb rash here and there on them, but they're in really, really good shape otherwise. Going down the side here just so you can see. Car's really straight. This is all, other than the front end, this is all original paint. I think this car was kept, garage kept. Plastics are all really nice. Even the vent visors are not super turning brown. They're still pretty dark and smoky gray. Just a little bit of discoloration there, but you know, you can see the seals are all really good. Back here, they tend to split right there where that little seal is, where the end is. And it's all in really, really good shape. And one of the reasons I think this car was garage kept is because I actually have a second one with a little bit more miles on it. And that one is nowhere near as good condition. It runs great. It's really, really strong engine and purrs like a kitten, but it's not nearly as good condition as this sucker is. A little bit tight over here in the garage. So go into the interior. You'll see as I squeeze myself in here. Again, this thing is in such great condition. All the plastics are great. Even the leather on the shift knob, like there's no real cracking or wear there. Plastics are all really good. There's not a lot of scratches and, you know, the other stuff that you'd expect to see. Factory radio head unit, which I've imported a dozen cars from Japan. I've never seen a factory head unit in a car that's 25 years old. So that's kind of a nice little surprise. Really the only modification is there's a turbo timer under here. I don't think you can see it. You'll see it when I turn the car on. Let's do that real quick. Turbo timer under there and the Greddy boost gauge. So that was a cold start. The battery's brand new, the tires are brand new. And let's get it out of the garage here. It's a factory. I don't know if you guys, if any of you have driven a sedan from Japan with an automatic transmission, you'll know that they all have that backup beeper. All right, so let's just, I'll pop the hood and we'll do a little walk around. So from the factory, I don't know how well you can hear me, but from the factory, the Stagea doesn't have a hood prop. It actually has hood struts. And when they did this front end swap, they didn't put the struts on, probably because they didn't want to add, there's no provisions in the hood actually to bolt hood struts into, since this hood is intended to be on a Skyline, not a Stagea. So I'm holding it up. I usually use a broomstick to prop it up. The engine hasn't been detailed. I didn't clean it at all. This is how the engine bay looked when I got it from Japan. And you know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing in your opinion, but it allows, with all the kind of dust and whatnot, it would allow you to see any leaks or anything like that that's happening. And there aren't any. This engine is solid. There's no leaks on the floor of my garage. I've had it in there for about 6 weeks. It just purrs like a kitten, starts every time, runs and drives and cruises really nicely. I'm gonna look here on the mirrors too. If you know Stages, you know a common issue is rust coming through here. Actually, I'll show you. A common issue on the Stages you'll see is the rust right here. That's because they put foam back here, which traps moisture and it just tends to rust out a little bit. And this car has none of that. Again, just more evidence that it was kept in a garage, probably not driven in the rain very much, but both sides, the mirrors are clean. This side over here, perfectly clean mirrors, not even a speck or a hint of rust coming through. The only flaw on the exterior, I'll show you the 2 flaws to see if I can catch it in the light here. There's a ding right here, which could definitely be taken out with paintless dent repair. And the back bumper right here has a scuff. That's it. Otherwise, the exterior is perfect. Everything works. Rear wiper works. I don't know, I think that piece of trim on the inside was cut because you could see where I think a subwoofer was mounted at some point, and they probably just needed clearance to get the speaker box or whatever it was in there. But it's got the parcel shelf cover, which most of them are missing. Spare tire, tools, everything's in there. Door jambs. I mean, the car is mint. It's mint. There's no other way to put it. All right, I'm gonna clip this here, and then we'll do a driving video here in a few minutes when we head off to the movies.